Good morning. Happy Saturday. This is an interesting video. This is one of those like life coach kind of videos. So if you're looking for goats, click off now. This is not one of those. I was watching a podcast slash YouTube video, conversation. Damon West, I think, was the guy's name. Him, I didn't know. I'll put the link to the video in the description below. Piper, you stay there. Piper's over there. She demanded to come out with me, even though I told her no, because I'm going all the way to House of Pie. We're gonna talk about carrots, eggs, and coffee beans. And this has nothing to do with Chaos Coffee. But by the way, this coffee this morning is gross. Some coffee Tyler wanted. I'm not gonna throw them under a bus, but it's too like, oh my God, it's so strong. It's real bad. It's like super, it's like when you brew it, it's black. It comes out like mud. Ooh, but I was able to doctor it up enough. My mom used to use that term, doctor it up. She would buy like food in a can and doctor it up and call it her recipe. Because, you know, back in the day, memories, tuna noodle casserole. But yeah, carrots, eggs, and coffee beans. Basically, I was telling Tyler a story yesterday at the pool. He was asking questions about like my college career and how did that work and what'd you go to school for, and you know, because him and his girlfriend talk about things like this. And now Tyler's different. Let's just say Tyler's 14 going on 40. Basically thinks, and this is where we got to calm Tyler down. He thinks, oops, I turned you on. Just kidding. Look, there's goats. Oh my goodness. I didn't mean to turn you on. I didn't know I could do that. Wait a second. I gotta clean the lens because you got all messy. Oh my gosh, I could swipe. Look. Thor, pooping. Me. Wow, I don't even have to push the little button with my finger. Okay, so Tyler is 14 going on 40. For those of you that don't know, he's a 14-year-old kid who has his whole life mapped out, knows exactly what he wants to do. His hobby will become his business. He picks up lawnmowers off the side of the road that say the word free on the side, and he spends like 10 bucks in 2 hours and gets them working and then resells them on Facebook Marketplace for $40 and $50. And he loves it, the challenge, the excitement, the education he gets from it. Hell, the hunt of finding something free is part of the challenge on the side of the road, and then we gotta go get it, you know, and he wants to open up some type of shop where he technically sells dirt bikes and ATVs, but I'm like, Tyler, that's gonna be really hard. I'm not trying to discourage you, but we gotta look at the logistics because there's a lot of where we live, 30 miles that way, 30 miles that way, and 30 miles that way, there's a major shop that sells all that stuff. And that's done by design because they have built into place those non-compete clauses where they can't build them on top of each other. They have zones, Suzuki, Kawasaki, all those guys are like, nope, you can't be a dealer. We already have one 30 miles from the location you want to put it. So I'm like, you got to come up with a niche. But he knows what he wants to do. He knows he doesn't want to go to college. Now, this is a tough one, and I don't want to start a debate here. Tyler is not college material. Tyler is me. I probably should have never went to college. And this is where yesterday's story came from, because he asked all those questions like, what'd you go to school for? And we've had this conversation numerous times, but we went into real detail. What did I originally go to school for? Why did I pick that major? Hang on, you guys are throwing hay. Good throw. You know, why did I pick that? And I was honest with him. I was like, Tyler, remember, I was you. I was junior, senior in high school. He's only a freshman, but you know what I mean. I was going into high school. I couldn't barely read. I couldn't spell my own name sometimes. So I was scared of the world. And then I had one or two teachers in that high school that really picked up on like the way my brain works, and the way most dyslexics' brain work is we're very, oh my gosh, this can't get clean. We're very creative, outside thinkers. We think outside the box, like the box doesn't fit for us. There's actually a chemical or a I gotta find that video. One day I'll talk about that video too on YouTube that talks about how dyslexia works. And the analogy has something to do with like telephone poles. I don't remember. He talks about the way your brain is wired. Like you got these telephone poles that go down the road, right? And every pole is spaced out X amount of ways, and there's 2 wires that run from each pole. Well, a dyslexic brain, those poles are spread out farther, but they have more wires. I don't know if that's what he says, but he talks about the difference between the way a dyslexic's brain is wired and where the benefits come in. Because look at Einstein and Tom Cruise and I think Whoopi Goldberg and possibly Oprah. I don't know. But there's a whole bunch of them. I think the guy that made the Tesla, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos, they're all dyslexic. As far as I know, there's a whole bunch of them, a lot of them. I might have said 1 or 2 names that were wrong. Don't quote me. But my point is, if you look it up, there are a lot of them. There's also this funny video on YouTube. I got sidetracked, but there's this funny video that it's called a dyslexic sperm bank. They did it in the UK, and people were giggling and laughing, and they were like, why would I want my kid to have a disease, blah, 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 and whatever. And then when you go in and you see pictures on the wall of all these brilliant people that have made huge changes in the world, then people are like, oh, maybe that is, did you realize it's 10%, 1 out of 10 people? So my point is, I was telling Tyler, like, look, if you don't want to go to college, you don't have to go to college. But you don't need to have your whole life mapped out at 14. We want you to try new things. Maybe this little motor thing is not what you want to do. And someday you will be like, oh, I want to paint. Then paint. Do it. You know, and figure it out. Like, don't hold yourself back because you think you know everything this young. But also, don't, like, think you need to have it all figured out, if that makes sense. So we were talking about it, telling the story about my college career, and I'm like, Tyler, I chased the money. When I was a teenager, I went in, I wanted to do culinary, I wanted to cook, or I wanted to be a carpenter. I wanted to build stuff. Build or cook, but my parents, no disrespect to them, talked me out of it because they said, A, there's more money in computers. Remember, this is 25 years ago. Let's see, I'm 44, 30 years, no, not 30. So yeah, about 25 years ago. I think I graduated high school in 97. So it was way back then. 94, 5, 6, 7, and the computer wasn't that, nobody had smartphones. So the computer was like, the personal computer was like blowing up. And my parents, what parents do, they encourage, and they're like, you should go into computers. You know, you like science, and I did, I liked all that. So I listened to them, and I went that way. I didn't follow my heart. I did not follow the creative side of me, the artist side of me. Now, because of dyslexia, I did not go to foreign language. We took me out of foreign language in school. None of my kids do foreign language. I don't believe in it. Sorry for those of you out there. They can speak English and they'll be perfectly fine. They don't need to know another language. Their brain already has to work 4 times as hard as a normal person to learn the English language than it does. They don't need a second language. So mom and I put our foot down. None of our kids do foreign language. So with that extra space in school, they get to encourage their creativeness. They fill that spot with an elective. Is it art? Is it music? Is it something they want to do, not something the government is forcing on them? Sorry, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. So, as good parents would do, they give you your insight. You don't wanna be in a kitchen all day long. It's super hot. You don't wanna be a carpenter. That's super hard work. And it's sweaty and hot and this and that. You want to do the internet thing, the computer thing. You sit in a nice office, you get air conditioning. There's more money. In the end, I did. I chased the money. I ended up miserable. Like, not miserable, but through life, I chased the money. I went to school for robotics. Yeah, I wanted to build the robots that build cars and the robots that were inside the dinosaurs for the Jurassic Park movie. Yeah. So then from there, a teacher told me once, he like just didn't beat around the bush. He said, Aaron, you're failing this math class. You have a D. And next year's math class, we spent a whole semester on one equation, differential equations or something like that. It was a whole semester. And he goes, and most people go down a grade. So if they get an A in this class, they're going to end up getting a B in that class. And he goes, you're not an engineer. He literally said, you're not one of these guys. He goes, you don't belong in a cubicle. You should go try that new major that just launched, first college in the country to have a major that was specifically for business. It was a business degree. but it was based on just the internet. So it was an internet business, e-commerce degree. So I did. I listened to him. I jumped ship. I went into internet business. That's what I did. I graduated with that degree. Then I left there. Then I met Liz. Then we went all through all the whole history of life. And then I circled around and worked for Verizon, and I worked for Ruby Tuesdays and Chili's and Bounced, and then from Verizon to a hardware company to build internet hardware. Great little company, and then that company got bought out by a big company and turned into a whole corporate BS crap. And then I left that company and went and did what I wanted to do, which was make marketing videos, YouTube videos about how your internet works and things like that. But then they questioned every move. Hey, the color doesn't look right. Your voice sounds weird. Can you change the font? And I was miserable, and then COVID saved my life. And now Liz and I do this. So let's talk about change, making change, right? Back to the carrot, the egg, and the coffee bean. This was a long video. I didn't expect this video to be so long. So yeah, we were talking to Tyler about all that. By the way, during this squirrel moment again, during this conversation, Tyler realized that Mom has known Uncle Kevin longer than she's known me. He thought that was funny. We're talking only 20 minutes here, but when we went to that party, that one November day, Kevin met Liz first. 20 minutes later, roughly, I met her and I stole her. No, I'm just kidding. Kevin and Liz, there was nothing there, but it was just funny that Tyler realized that Mom has known Kevin longer than she's known me. That was hilarious. And I've only known Kevin about 2 years longer than Liz. And we're pushing 20 something years between the three of us. Like me and Kevin, I think is 22 years, and Liz and I is about 20. I don't know. We have the exact date we met on the wall in the house. I actually have it on video somewhere too. I'd have to convert it that someday I'll spend that time. But when you end up in a situation, you have three options. And I learned this from this podcast, completely stole it. Link in description below. This guy, Damon, he went through hell and back, drugs, cocaine, crack, meth, you name it, all of it, went into jail, ended up, got a life sentence. Like, you could listen to his whole story. But he said, and he learned this in jail from somebody, and I'm using it because it's that good. You have three options when you end up in a situation. One is you could be the carrot. You could turn soft and mushy and let everybody walk all over you and not stand up for a thing. When you end up in the situation of life called boiling water. See, get it? The carrot ends up in the boiling water and it lets the water take over and it turns soft and mushy and nothing happens. It basically will disintegrate. Or you can end up the egg. You can go into this situation, this boiling water of life, and you can go from an egg that has a yolk and the whites and the shell, and if you stay in that water long enough, you become hard as a rock. Your heart stops. It all becomes hard. You become so defensive and angry and mad and just bitter almost at everything. It doesn't work. Or you can be the coffee bean. You put a coffee bean in boiling water and it turns the water to coffee. It makes a change. So that, oh, it's so emotional. It's so good. I loved it. I thought it was so good. And it had nothing to do with our coffee brand. Nothing at all. Seriously, go click the link below, watch his stuff. The guy was awesome. He does public speaking somewhere. Amazing story of just making a change when you're in a situation. I don't want Tyler to chase the money. I don't want Jake to chase the money. Of course, money's important. You got to buy things. You need food. You need a car. You need some hobbies, maybe a dog. I don't know. But, you know, don't chase the money. I chased the money when I was a kid because I needed somebody by my side that can read and write for me. I literally told my teachers in high school when they picked on me because I couldn't spell the word college. Yes, you, Mr. V. I'll just leave it there. He said it. He goes, why go to college if you can't spell it? And I said, I'm not going to have to spell it because I'll make so much money. I'll hire somebody to read and write for me. My job is to think. My job's the brain. Their job's to learn the English language. I literally talked back to junior year, high school teacher. He made a difference. Thank you for putting that like little chip on my shoulder that I was like, I'll prove you wrong. Yeah, that was fun. High school was not fun. Okay, back to making a change. I'm gonna make a quick little change because I saw something this morning that needs to be changed. So we're gonna go this way. We're gonna find out two things. Ready? Two things. One is what day did Liz and I meet? I found it. It's right up there. It was November 10th, 2002. And I saw something this morning that needs to be changed. And before I change it, I just want to tell everybody watching this video, you have all changed our life. Even if we've never talked to you, never seen you, you've never sent a gift, you've never bought a piece of soap, you just watch our videos, you allow me to chit chat and jabber and blah, blah, blah every day for about 15 minutes, this one a little longer, and you've changed our life. So you are making a change, even though you might not think so. And right now I'm gonna make a serious change. Buddy, hogging the toilet paper the wrong way. It's time to change that. I don't know if I could do it one-handed, but it should go this way. There. Stand up for what you believe in. All kidding aside, you guys have a wonderful Saturday, and we will see you again tomorrow.